So in some things where it's invisible to see, like the temperature, like looking at the air, you can see that is a great representation. Frost acts on black material, specifically a matted plastic that has a curve, top of the curve being more white than the sides of the curve. Today I'd like to bring you on a journey where we look at the illuminating factors of mystery, the ones that propagate our number one sense, visibility. Just as rain will fall, but before the rain falls, it's circulating as ice crystal up there. Other impunities include particle debris. What else is up there that the stars appear when everything clears? I'm being too facetious. Night falls. The stars are coming up. That's a star. The biggest star that's closest to us, the sun. It gets a head start and shine through the sky better than the rest of the stars. Well, you'll see a morning star, and it'll be the first one that appears, and then the second one. It's just like walking by the mailbox, observing it, that it twinkles if you look close enough. What's the first twinkle you see on the mailbox? The twinkle being the frost. So I bet if I go to different positions of the earth, I would see the first morning star to be different, appearing at a different location as well. My orientation to it, no more significant than an orientation of walking past a mailbox at a different angle and seeing the first twinkle be at a different particle of frost. Particles of debris up there. We're going to find out. Thanks for watching. Hope I'm making educated guesses, but to improve it by understanding what we can do better. I'm trying to connect a lot of dots, a lot of data points, and all of that is abstract to find the most congruent logos in order to illuminate the pathos, preach to the globe. Being belittled from a malefficiency would include an object overriding you through an irregularity. You can make a difference if that's a new basis. You won't need Wi-Fi, and then you won't have to pay for it because you're already using it by using your brain. So find the similarity between that. Just over my left shoulder is the area where I skateboarded down, fell off and broke my collarbone. Then I walked into a construction place that was still under construction. Guys in there said, I'll call an ambulance. The ambulance came, they jabbed me with an IV like 5-6 times. It wasn't taking the IV. Went to the hospital gave me a sling and said, want some pain pills? I said no. They said, all right, bye. And they first had me try and take off my sweater on my own with a broken collarbone. This is the issue where I take it personal that the computer, in two phrases, it is object-oriented programming, and the computer is meant to be a security system. The bells and whistles of it make calculations performing to be a security system. And why that's so irritating is that our security systems are nowhere near accurate. And I found out that by having a collarbone that was handled so badly that it is an inch out of order even to this day. That's okay, I'm alright. I'll just do some extra stretches. What's more important, and even worse than that, that there's people who call on a telephone, and then that telephone call for help, the operator sometimes can't get them help in time, as a bad guy can do whatever they want within that time frame. And that could mean worse than a broken collarbone. That's a security system that I think if we had a plasma hybrid, a card catalog, whatever, invent something where it could take out the threat. Like if you call on a telephone, it would be quicker than that. Like when I was a kid, we saw the rescue ranger would call for the rescue rangers. Literally, you would just like call out the name Rescue Ranger and they would show up, and these chipmunks would like be there instantly. If we had something like that could happen, but make it be like with a Pokemon, it'd be even cooler. But all done through plasma. One job I had to help a friend was clear out porta-johns everywhere. And if anyone had a virus and they expelled it out of their feces, and how easily it might be to breathe it in through the air. And that's why everyone's wearing masks. Just over my right shoulder is the feces of everyone in this entire community. This is a sewage plant, and I can smell of what person's feces would have a virus. I'm constantly being told on the TV that thousands of people in my local area have a virus. So 1 out of those thousands people's feces should indeed be in that massive sewage plant just over my right shoulder. I would like to know specifically if I'm breathing it in, call it like a bathhouse problem, the bathtub issue. Earlier, I was just trying to kick a tennis ball from the curb to the other curb, and doing that would have been a quantum jump on the 2D plane if the 2D plane just included the sidewalk and then the other sidewalk. Unfortunately, when I kicked the ball, it did not make it over to the other sidewalk. So on a 2D plane, the quantum leap would have not even been accurate. The signal would have not been sent. And if you can understand that and any maximum aptitude. Oh. This one guy, and he said, when you're using the computer, you need to know what you're looking for, what computers are for. What's the difference between the frequency and a heat signature? Columns can be axes, but not all axes are considered columns. The frost of the shade versus the frost that melted away. One of the guys, K, he passed away. So Alexi Lejo passed away, K passed away. He would say, unleash the power of shadow. There you have it, clear as day, frosted over through night. This has the remnants of an axis, a column. This one's wider so that the frost is more unique. Just like how when the internet was first made, it had like all these different things you could do through it. You can stock exchange. Stock exchange was up before the internet, wasn't it? I do say so. It was just in paper, categorizing file through paper. If you want to find a book, you look up through an index card that was kept in a shelf. Now it's done through the computer. Probably not through the internet, but probably it is through an internet. I'd sort them in a volcano to die. That's what I've thought about mosquitoes too. I'd put them all into a ball and I'd shoot them up into the outer space, coronal ejection. We'll feed the spiders who usually eat mosquitoes a different food before we would send off the mosquito. I do it for ticks, I do it for leeches, I do it for house flies. Would be fly into a ball and get shot into the vacuum of outer space. Good word, axis and column. I wonder if these keywords in mathematics, the mathematical words, are similar in every language. We need to learn the difference between an axis and a column. Any language you can point and say axis, and then the math will go out from there, just based off what I'm trying to do with the CGI, special effects, congruency of nature. One band I was listening to was named Metronome, and it was a visual key. I noticed that one of the songs, it was named an English title, Computer. He kept saying computer. He wasn't just using the English version of computer. Computer in English is used for the name any language. Sometimes it's carried out a little bit different. A library is like a libre in Spanish, but a computer is still a computer, linguistically speaking, in Japanese. Partially because when I was taught, a lot of things were left said and undone, and now they're just surmounting as objects of no objectivity. To figure out like the characteristics of things so that you don't need to know English to know what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, what have we here? This is a breakthrough. As the shadow has conserved, the shadow has reserved what has been left from the frosting of this morning. But it's clear as day that the day has cleared the frost, except within the shadow's cool area. And that's one cool thing